folks around here like to call the Vault, and that's Bank of America Stadium in uptown Charlotte. A short time ago, a scene that never fails to stir up the folks here in Charlotte. Cam Newton strutting his way onto the field. His guys are fired up as they get set to go toe-to-toe with the Dallas Cowboys. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at this Panther ball club as they enter play here. And I don't think from what we saw down on the field before the game, there's any doubt they're ready to roll.
They pass the eye test, don't they? This team looks fired up and ready to play.
Meanwhile, for the visitors here, the Cowboys, an early season tilt. And when it's an early season tilt, should be ready to roll.
Well, let's face it, the aches and pains haven't really set in yet. And both teams eyeing a really good start to get things going.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. They go play action here on 1st down. And that'll be incomplete as it's knocked away. But a penalty flag is down. So who's this going to be on?
Interference. Defense.
Well, Antonio Brown can wreak havoc in so many ways. Here he's able to cause a PI penalty.
He runs at defensive backs with such speed and power. I think it creates panic on their end, and a lot of times they just reach out and grab him, and that's the result there, a pass interference call.
He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete. The offensive starters now for the Cowboys.
This offense begins and ends with Ezekiel Elliott. He played in only 10 games last year after leading the league in rushing as a rookie, but still led the league in rushing yards per game for the 2nd year in a row. When he gets his hands on the football, everyone comes to the edge of their seat.
Here's the first carry for Ezekiel Elliott, and he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Give him 4 on the ground there. They're now left with 3rd and 6.
That 2nd down play call was not to pick up the 1st down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable 3rd down because they had incompletion on 1st down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
On 3rd down, it's Prescott. Oh, he almost picked it. Nearly a turnover there on their opening drive. That's a throw he'd like to have back. Now 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? Zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
So a favorable bounce that time, to say the least, and he's able to convert the field goal there from long distance.
Yeah, the guys behind the end zone didn't need to hike the net up for this one. That thing was a dying quail, but he finds a way to boink it off the crossbar and make it drop through.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. So here are the Panthers now for their opening drive. Bringing him out is the 29-year-old quarterback who played his college ball at Auburn, Cam Newton.
2 years after leading the Panthers to the Super Bowl, he did get them back into the playoffs in 2017. Unfortunately, they fell in the 1st round. Just 206 yards passing per game, the lowest total of his career. I think a lot of that was due to injuries on the offensive line and the lack of big-time weapons outside. The Panthers in the last 2 drafts, though, have tried to address that. Look for those numbers to climb up again for Cam Newton.
So a look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. And they tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on the roster who are capable of filling in and playing at a high level. That's when you know you've drafted well, scouted free agents well, and stocked your team just the way you're supposed to.
Tackle made there by Chidobe Awuzie. And the offensive starters for the Panthers.
And Christian McCaffrey, one of my favorite players in the 2017 draft, he didn't disappoint. Had 80 catches as a rookie. Look for him to be more actively involved in the running game in 2018. Yes, he can run between the tackles.
3rd and long, it's Newton. He'll drop it off to McCaffrey. A gain of 4 on the play, and it'll be 4th down.
There's an example of good situational football being played by a defense. They understood where the 3rd down play was, the down and distance, and made sure that they didn't get anywhere near that, bringing up 4th down.
Yeah, they were sniffing out that marker, didn't want to let him get close to there, and now a likely 3 and out to start. Yeah, I love the way they rallied to the football and got to him and made sure he didn't give up much run after catch. Out comes the Cowboys offense. The wild optimism going into last season, of course, because they were coming off that 13-3 year, but they faded a bit last year as they dropped to a good but not great 9-7.
The good thing for Dallas, they play in a pretty volatile division, the NFC East. There hasn't been a repeat champion in the East since 2003, 2004, and that was Philadelphia, who currently holds the crown right now. But this is a Dallas team that I think has worked its way through some adversity. They've lost some key veteran players along the way the last 2 years. So the face of the franchise, actually the face is quarterback Dak Prescott. But to me, the guy who really makes them go, running back Ezekiel Elliott. If they get 16 out of him, expect Dallas to be in the thick of things.
Toward the right sideline, but it's incomplete.
Well, there's times when you see these catches that are made, and we just know the guys playing it are really wishing for college rules. Only need that one foot down instead of 2. It's awfully difficult on the sideline, isn't it?
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Looking to throw. Prescott. Incomplete. He had his hands on it, but couldn't pick it. But it's now 4th down.
Well, it certainly appears that they're going to try and keep getting him the football. It's the 3rd time they've looked in his direction. Unfortunately, haven't completed one yet, but I'm not sure they're going to shy away from it. They feel like they've got something there, and they want to capitalize on it.
I think you're right. We're only in the 1st quarter, so a lot of opportunities ahead. And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. We turn our attention to the Panthers as they come out here on offense, and it's been an 6-10 a couple of years ago. Last year back in the playoffs with 11 wins. So what in 2018?
I think a continuation of 2017 and an expansion on what we run the ball inside. And Cam Newton can be your short yardage runner as well as play the quarterback position and throw it. But they want to open things up. Remember, they drafted Christian McCaffrey last year, want to get him the ball in space. They ended up drafting DJ Moore this year, so they want to be more explosive. And him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
On 2nd down, McCaffrey. And he'll be taken down right around the 34 after a pickup of only a yard. And now the defense for Dallas.
The anchor of this Cowboys defense is linebacker Sean Lee. Finished with 118 tackles despite missing 4 full games and the majority of another one in 2017. And you can absolutely see it's a different defense when he's on the field as opposed to when he's off of it. Agile, diagnoses plays well, and a fierce tackler.
The threat of a 2nd straight punt to start the game is looming as they come up 3rd and 10. Throwing on 3rd down, Newton. And that is incomplete.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, 1st quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on 3rd down conversions to start this thing. A 46-yard punt, 8 yards on the return. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. Here's the Dallas offense now heading back out onto the field. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a 1st down.
Coming in, he really liked his chance of having a big year based on a terrific offseason. And runs like that on opening weekend show that he's right.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. So 1 quarter in the books on NFL kickoff weekend. 3-0 is our score. EA Sports NFL Sunday returns. Sitting alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin as it is Cowboy football to begin quarter number 2. And they've got it here with a first down. Now Prescott. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. Throwing again. Prescott on 2nd and 10. On the move to his left. This is caught inside the 15. And he's going to get this deep on a Carolina side of the field. A big play here for the Cowboys. 56 yards.
In our pregame meeting, all they talked about was keeping him hemmed in and wanting him to make his throws from the pocket because they knew he was pretty dangerous if he got outside.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott, an 8-yard touchdown run. And the Cowboys will add on to their lead. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how we're going to slow down this running game because on that particular play, they had no answer.
Extra point up and through, and the lead grows to 10-0. The drive there only spanning 3 plays, and it culminates in a touchdown run by Ezekiel Elliott. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. On the return, it's Kenyon Barner. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. This offense trots back out there now, and as they do, Charles, one thing to point out that we saw a second ago are some of the new rules in the NFL this year regarding kickoffs.
Yeah, nowadays, the kickoff team, no more running starts. Remember that when you kind of circle a guy around and here he goes? No more. You have to start, close to the ball. And when it's kicked, then you get to take off and go, so you can't build up your speed that way. Also, when you're returning it, remember those wedges that we used to say where guys would form together, 2 or 3 guys? No more of those. So it'd be a lot more man-on-man, one-on-one blocking. And also they have rules about where people have to be when the ball's kicked, where they have to be when the ball's caught. So to me, it's much more like a punt return than it is an actual kickoff return. So I'm eager to see if teams now take their punt returners, those nifty guys who make people miss in the open field, and make them the kickoff returners as well, because I think you can still get big plays in this area if you have the right people back there.
Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
Back to the ground on first, it's McCaffrey. And he'll take this one down to the 36. Byron Jones in there to make the tackle.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now Newton. And there's the first NFL catch for the Maryland man, DJ Moore. First catch of the new season for him, and he picks up the first. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't they?
When we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, they like his work ethic. This guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time, really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
A reminder coming up at the half, we hook up with a new guy, Jonathan Coachman from Orlando. He'll have highlights and analysis, and more importantly this year, scores and stats from around the league here in week 1. So do not press that skip button. And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
They've been playing sound fundamental defense thus far and able to keep this offense from creating a major dent on the scoreboard.
Able to force the incompletion, but still waiting for that game-changing play. You feel like it's coming, the first sack, the first turnover.
In a sense, they're playing old-school defense right now. The new school defense is what you said, taking the ball away.
He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. It's a gain of 9 yards. And that'll make it 3rd and 1.
Well, it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have that center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for.
And he will have the first down before he's brought down at the 3. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
And that one was a lot of fun right there because that was the game within the game. 3rd and short, blitz was on. What's the key for the quarterback? Get out of your hands in a hurry. And that was a quick little completion. Got the job done for a 1st down.
On the ground, McCaffrey. Nothing doing there. They're going to wind up holding him at the 2. No gain there, and it's going to set up 2nd and goal.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
Here's Newton now on 2nd down. Blitz coming, and down he goes. And before they can run this 3rd down play, we're going to get a timeout, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this 1st half. This has been a long drive. You got to figure a field goal would be a letdown. Can they convert now on 3rd and goal? This is Newton off the play fake to McCaffrey. And the pressure gets to him again. Sean Lee. He's the one to get him this time. And back-to-back sacks are going to bring up a 4th down.
Well, that's the 2nd time he's been sacked so far in the 1st half. And if they have designs on having a big year, on going anywhere, they've got to find a way to keep him upright so he can throw the football.
Now Chandler Catanzaro for the field goal here. And Catanzaro's kick is right through. And they get themselves on the board here. It's 10-3. So the 3 points here, they're still down, but they put somewhat of a dent into that lead going into the break.
Anything helps when you're trying to chip away at a lead, but they do know that they're going to need a little bit better effort in the 2nd half.
Just 11 seconds to go in the half as they have it 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, Prescott. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And that'll be incomplete with just 6 seconds left on the clock. Cooper was the target there. And now it's 2nd down. Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10. On 2nd down, Prescott again. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And this will be incomplete. 1 second left to go. Antonio Brown, the intended receiver. And it's 3rd down. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Final play of the half. Prescott. He'll rifle this one deep right side. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. All right, we will save the Week 1 highlights and apparently get right back to the action here in the 3rd. We'll see if Week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the 2nd half. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Out come the Panthers. They'll have it first on offense in the 3rd quarter. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall, I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up. And we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up.
holding. Offense.
So a decent gain,
Still
but all
first
for
down.
naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Here's Newton. Thomas has got it. Complete. The ball comes out, and the Cowboys have recovered. And they came out of the locker trailing. Not a good way to start this second half with their first drive.
Can't imagine that the discussion at halftime encompassed this at all. In fact, I'm sure they talked about, okay, kind of wipe the slate clean, start the second half, and let's go out and play the way we know that we can. That's not a great example of it.
They didn't envision that.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
They'll try to get the running game going with McCaffrey. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. It'll be a loss of 1, and they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here. The shotgun snap for Newton. And he'll dump this off to his running back, McCaffrey. He showed off a nice juke of the defender, but the next wave there to bring him down. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
And juke this time. A terrific return. 30 yards all in all. And the Cowboys are going to take over in great position here with a 1st and 10. The Cowboys offense now, they head out for their first possession of the second half. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show him one thing, hit him with something else.
They'll run with Elliott. And he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
When we talk about Luke Kuechly, you can't talk about his overall game without talking about his intelligence and how he controls the whole defense. He quarterbacks that defense, and at times will actually make checks, just like a quarterback would on offense to get them into the right defense. They definitely were on that play. How about that finish? Holding that to a minimal gain.
And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Amari Cooper, an 18-yard touchdown grab. And the Cowboys will extend their lead. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Here are the Panthers now as their offense comes back out onto the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Newton throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. Thomas, the intended target. That'll bring up second down.
Let's face it, if you want to get back into the game, these are the kind of throws you got to hit. He's wide open right there. Got to be able to get it to him, don't you think?
And those are the throws that haven't been available to them every time he's dropped a pass. Yeah, that's a big miss. Back to the air, Newton on second down. Throw right side is going to be caught by Samuel. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. He got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets him a new set of downs. On first down, it's Newton. And too much juice. It'll be out of bounds, incomplete. He was looking for the connection with Devin Funchess. And it's second down. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary, it really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone. And especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to them.
So second down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to take this one up only to about the 44-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a third down.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like touches, for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Newton to throw. They'll set up the screen to McCaffrey. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. The screen does get him 9, but it also brings up a fourth down.
They dialed up the screen pass on third down, and for a second it looked like it was all going to come together, and they had a chance to pick up a first down, but the defense got there and finished it off.
That'll go in the books as just a 16-yard punt. And possession will switch hands, first and 10. So Prescott and the Cowboys now with a first and 10 at the 33-yard line. They start on the ground with Elliott. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the third quarter of action. It's the Cowboys with the football. They'll be looking to tack on to their lead as we get set for the fourth. Prescott now on second down. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains. They have the nice cushion. They just want to pour it on right now, still throwing the football.
And I know my background says, why do you need to do this? Just go ahead and run out the clock and get a win. But as many people have pointed out to me, it's a video game, man. Go ahead and put the numbers up. Sportsmanship, not an issue.
Exercise those fingers. First down, Prescott. And he will find his man on the end route. Complete. A gain of 6 there on first.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect him to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
Second down, Prescott. And this is caught. It's Cooper. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Amari Cooper, already his second touchdown here in this opening weekend. And the Cowboys will add on to their lead. Turning into a really good performance on the road. Week 1, you're just hoping for that first win. It's tough to do it away from home, though, but they're looking strong.
It certainly is. Any road win in the NFL is a great road win. I mean, it just does not matter whether it's supposed to be tough or not. In this particular situation, how great will they feel leaving with a win on the road against a tough opponent?
A little work still to do, though. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Now it's Barner. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Carolina getting set to take the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
This one complete to Devin Funchess. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. 15 yards is the pickup there, and the drive starting very nicely. First down. Decent start to the drive, but let's face it, they need a lot of things to go right in a short amount of time, down 3 scores.
Yeah, they're going to run their 2-minute offense here in this game, but this is for future games. Can they get better and be ready for the next time, hopefully with a chance to win?
Flushed out right, and he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. He'll get just a yard on the scramble. It's second down.
Nice job there defensively. A great time to dial up a blitz.
And give him credit under center instead of throwing it away. Actually, a pretty good job of getting past the line of scrimmage, not losing yardage. To throw on second down is Newton. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up third. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Now Newton looking for Funchess, but it's intercepted. Chidobe Awuzie with a pick. And the return stops just a few yards shy of midfield. They'll spot the ball at the 47-yard line.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
Give them 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. The Cowboys on 3rd down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 7. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. So the Cowboys in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Throwing. Prescott. He gets it to Brown. Complete. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation. They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
10th carry now for Elliott. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. And still about 3 yards shy of a first as the 4-yard pickup brings it to 3rd down.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
Third and short yardage. Prescott over the middle here to Brown. And he will have a first down at about the 21-yard line. The quick slant, good for 8 and a first.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Prescott now just 7 of 16 passing thus far, but he's got a 1st and 10. On the counter, Elliott. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. A nice pickup of 14, and it moves the stick, sets up a 1st and goal. Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal. And partner, this first week, this first game that we get to call together, so special every year, week 1. You had the flyover, the big American flag out there before the game, all the hoopla, just having football back, so special.
It is an opening day, opening game. There's just nothing like it because you really build to a crescendo. But the best part for us is that crescendo lasts for a while. Opening game here, an entire season. We get into the playoffs, to the Super Bowl. I was really excited. I could barely sleep last night. I can't imagine being a player.
So for Dallas, not much to complain about here. They come in and steal a victory in a tough place to play on a Sunday night. And they'll return home next week to take on the New York Giants. Meanwhile, for the Panthers, they obviously fall to 0-1 with the defeat. And they'll try to turn it around next week as they head to Atlanta for a matchup with the Falcons. And for Charles...
Somebody call for the queen.
The players on your team earned XP.
Got something to do with that. I got the streets on my back. Carry it like I'm moving the.
Quickly upgrade your team at the end of each game.
It was like 11 in the morning. Skipping school, that's a truancy about it. I made me some rest in the morning. I had me up by the morning. I had me some breaks by the morning. I had a sis by the morning. I got on a meat on the morning. I had a in my shoulder. You got a picture. You got this picture of me. Pacific ice on my ocean. Ready for war like I'm Russia. Ladies should never look luggage. My diamonds, they tussling. My neck and my belly. They calling for me and they. You want me like me and I look. Yeah. Her Rex on her. Yeah. B-Rex better calm down. Yeah. If you go around, come around. Yeah. Post up. Yeah. Yeah. Make some orange gel on my toes. Yeah. Farrakhan glass for the chosen. Yeah. You can go and get mad. Jumping in the bed with 2 dark teeth, man. Who's you? My shawty pulling up with a real bad back. You too. Dripping my swag. About tag on in the bag, man. Getting all type of cash. I'm a general true. I never get anybody, but I got something to do with it. I got the streets on my back. Carry it like I'm moving the. I told him the hunter, like he trying to move it up. It was like 11 in the morning. Skipping school, that's a truancy about it. I made me some rest in the morning. I had me up by the morning. I had me some breaks by the morning. I had a sis by the morning. I got on a meat on the morning. The rats keep me up on the podium. I had a in my shoulder. You got a picture.
You got a picture me. Send me calling. Ready for war like Korea. Headlining shows I am pulling. You should be cleaning my mansion. My peasants disgusting. Why don't you act like a Hoffman and go get to dustin'? Yeah, latex on my. Go clean my crown. They don't make a sound. Videos on these. White paint on my toes. Pressing a new alert. Jumping in the bed, then I switch to the ghost like who's you? Remember this face, cause I'm that. You gon' lose.
Now, let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team.
You looking at you. It's squad goals win. Are you pretty like no?
I never get anybody, but I got something to do with that. I got the streets on my back. Carry it like I'm moving the. I told him the hunter, like he trying to move it up. It was like 11 in the morning. Skipping school, that's a truancy about it. I had me up by the morning. I had me some breaks by the morning. I had a sis by the morning. I got on a meat on the morning. The rats keep me up on the podium. I had a in my shoulder. You got a picture. Jumping in the bed with 2 dark teeth, man. Who's you? My shawty pulling up.